Hey, it's Brandon T with the Painting with Magic show, and today we're going to start a brand new project. A few weeks ago we had a nice little cherry blossom painting. I had so many questions how to paint something like that. You can use that technique for all kinds of different trees. So today we're going to do a pumpkin. It's that time of season, that time of the year, that people kind of buy pumpkins and have pumpkin displays. And they're really fun to do and actually really easy to do too. So I thought we would do a little pumpkin. So what I have here is an 18 by 24 inch canvas, just pre-stretched, and I used some of my signature black gesso on the black on the canvas. You can see there, the signature black gesso. For people wondering, this is the black canvas seal. We just relabeled it black gesso because many folks didn't understand what black canvas seal was. Black canvas seal is a little different than black gesso. It's actually a lot more stronger. It's going to seal your canvas and give you a little more texture. So we just relabeled it to the black gesso. It works a lot better. So that's what I use on this canvas here. I can set that up here. So I've already got it on here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my clear medium. I have some classic clear, and I have a new Alkyd walnut oil. I'll put them right there on that camera so you can see those. Okay, so one's a walnut oil, one's a classic clear. They're both fast drying medium. So if you're looking for something to dry quickly, these are great to use. I'm going to use the classic clear today. Walnut oil is a great one to use as well, but classic clear is what I want to use today. So always shake your bottle up before you start. It just allows everything to kind of mix back together. Okay, fantastic little bottle of stuff. Sometimes you have these little things pop off, but I throw them away. Okay. And I'm just going to pour a little bit out in my palette. Just a little bit. And what we're going to use this for is to allow the canvas to have some lubrication on there so we can blend our colors for some of the background stuff we're going to use. So I'm just going to come up here and apply this with my 2-inch brush. Okay. You see it's going to be a little darker, my brush is a little dirty. That's fine. Now, what I've also done up here is you can see I've outlined my little pumpkin. And that pattern, I will have a pattern for this that you can get at BrandonThomasArtSupply.com. It'll be for free. You'll be able to get that for absolutely free. So right now I'm just coating the canvas with some classic clear medium. Smooth flowing medium. And we can apply as much as you want. You don't want to apply too much, but you want to apply enough to where you got a good amount. These come in 2-ounce bottles. And if you want to have this painting stay wet for a little bit longer, the Amazing Clear is a slow dry medium, so you can use that one if you want. Okay. And I'm just coating this really good. Got a nice thin coat of a classic clear on the canvas. It's good stuff. Alrighty. So we got a nice little coating. Now what you can do, you could, if you want to, come here and sketch out some stuff, but it's not going to do you no good anyway because you're going to cover it up with some very thick paint. So alright, so let's go up here and let's start with our background. I got a very simple background on this one today. Not too much going to go on. So make sure we're in the screen here. I'll take some titanium white. I'll take a little bit of that clear medium just to move the paint around a little bit on the palette. And I'm going to take a little sap green. A little bit more sap green. You can take a little bit of dioxazine purple. That's an amazing color to use to gray down paints with. But I just want a little bit of purple in there too, just to see what we get. And then I can kind of see that's going to be too green or too white, so I have more green to that. You always want to start light and build it up to a darker color, because if you make it too dark at the beginning, it's going to be a lot harder to make it darker, make it lighter as you go. So make sure you start light and work it out. So right now it's a nice little bit of green. I'm just going to take my fan brush and just dash in a little bit of color back here in the background. What that's going to do is going to give us a little bit of harmony back here, little colors work together. give you something in the background. You can leave this black if you want to. You don't have to add any colors to it at all. But I just want to add a little bit of color to my painting. So I'm kind of move it out like this a little bit so I can see. Okay, that's good. That's a good little amount there. So what I'm going to do next, I'll take a little alizarin crimson. Maybe a touch of that white too. Let's see what we kind of get. And a little red and green back here. The reason that is they're complementary colors and they work well together, but we're also doing that pumpkin where we're going to have some oranges in here, some good colors that's going to work together for our background. You can do this darker or lighter, however you want to do it. So I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to blend it out with my 2-inch brush. And have it kind of smear and go to the background. Go away in the background. So, you know, I can sit here and I can decide if I want it to be darker or lighter. So, I kind of want it to go like that. What I'm going to do real quickly, grab a paper towel. I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'll come back in here and blend it some more. Blend it all the way up into the pumpkin area. It doesn't matter if you get anything inside this pumpkin. We're going to cover that up anyway. But however dark you want it to go, that's how dark you take it. You can keep rubbing it out. It's going to blend, blend, blend. Now if you want to go softer, if you don't want any brush strokes back there, a great brush to use is the Hake brush. You can really soften it down. Some nice little soft areas going on. A little bitty hair. It's okay. Alrighty, so that's nice and soft. I made this one a little brighter than my original version of this painting. I want a little bit more color to be shown in the background of this one. But you can decide however you want to do it. You can just leave it black, like I said. It's great. So this technique right here can be great for squashes, any kind of still life painting that you want to do. It's great this way. I always like using those black cans. So now it's time to get into this pumpkin. This is super, super fun, super easy to do. So after you get your pumpkin up here, what I did was I just traced on my pattern that I drawed. I sketched on the canvas actually, and I sketched out the pumpkin that I wanted to do. And the black's kind of laying in here just a little bit, so we can actually go outside of that. So it doesn't have to be nice and crisp. You see, I didn't really care if I had black coming in here or not, because we're going to cover that all up. So let's start on this pumpkin. Before we start on the pumpkin, let's go ahead and start into the little top piece here. And for that, we'll take some sap green, and we're going to take a filbert brush. I just want to move this out a little bit. Now, right now it's a little too green, right? That's okay. We're going to use this green as our base so we can see where we're at. Don't make these little stems too perfect because they're not perfect. If you go to the farm or if you go to a grocery store that has those pumpkins, at this time of year they're going to have them. They're not very perfect at all, so don't worry about making these perfect. They're not going to be perfect. Alright, so we got our stem in the green, so we need some brown to brown it up. Some burnt umber, which is technically a really dark orange, but it's a very beautiful brown color. I like that. And we come in here with some of that. Now we're just working it out, like I said, alright? We'll work it out. Maybe we'll make it a little bit thicker. We'll kind of go out to the edge. There. Okay, we're going to make it darker as we go. Burnt umber. You take a little bit of purple too. It's always good. See that nice dark rich color. Some people make these things really green. They're very dark green, and actually when you get those stems are going to be dead, so you're not going to have really any green on it. You may have a little bit of green left, but for the most part they're going to be brown, a darkish greeny brown color. And that's about what I get right here. And I like it nice and rough looking because that's how it kind of gives that more detail into the stem. So once we get that there, we can start putting in the pumpkin area. Then we come back and add some more details to that. So I'll grab me another filbert brush. Excuse me for move that microphone down a little bit. I'll take a little orange. I'm going to take the bright orange first to kind of outline this. See where I'm at with this pumpkin. I'm just going to grab some of that. Take it all the way around. Again, you don't have to make this pumpkin perfect. They're not going to be perfect. That's the reason I like painting fruits and vegetables, because they're not perfect. Okay, we're going to start getting the lumps areas kind of designed in here. Doesn't matter what kind of color we kind of got going. We're going to make this darker anyway. Okay, start filling in. Now the bottom, don't worry about the bottom because we're going to put some hay and stuff down here. Can't worry about that gesso coming through. Let's get this in here. Now I'm gonna make it a little darker. I'm gonna add a little burnt umber to that because we need some darker stuff laying in here now. So we'll take more orange. This is cadmium orange and burnt umber now. So once we kind of outlined it with the orange, we're gonna make the darker middle tone, the darker tone. That way that we get more contrast. So you want this to be nice and your middle tone to be dark. This is going to be this middle sections that you're going to see, the little slices. And I'll make sure you don't make it too big, because then you have to scale your stem and everything out some more. I think I'm going to keep filling this in. Okay. That's all we're doing right now. It's filling this all in. Some more burnt umber, more orange. And you see this color here is a very dark orange tone. That's why we mix a little orange with that, because you want all this nice darker orangey colors coming in here. Make sure you get that section right out here. And right now we don't know where the light's coming from, but I've kind of already decided where the light's coming from when I designed the stem. Light's going to be coming from the right side, but in a still life you can make it come from wherever you want to come from. It can come directly right on. And where you're painting this rounded object, remember something when you're painting anything around. It could be a ball, maybe you're doing a baseball or a basketball or something, or it could be an orange. You kind of want the middle section to be lighter and kind of work it out to be a little more darker on the edges. It gives you more of that rounded look. So when we do these little sections in a pumpkin, we have a little pumpkin right up here, these little areas. Make sure the middle section, when you're painting this in with your nice orange color, nice brighter highlights, that the middle section is brighter in those areas, and as you work around the little plump sections, little individual sections, it gets darker towards the ends, the edges. Okay? And it makes it looks more plump and juicy and all that good stuff that you want on a pumpkin. Okay? Okay, so it's pretty dark. We're not going to see anything happen right now until we start highlighting, but I want to kind of get this filled in before we start. I kind of want to look at it a little bit more. Make it a little bit wider over here. And maybe on this side, make it a little bit wider too. And just take your time when you're doing this. Don't rush it. Alright, so we got that nice and filled in with nice darks. You can take it a little darker. I may take it just a touch darker. So I add more brown to this. Just because I want those middle sections to pop a little bit more. Okay. You notice I'm doing my strokes pulling down strokes. I'm already kind of designing the middle areas right now in my head by just pulling down these strokes. It'll help you too. Just pull down the strokes. Okay. Alright. Now we start designing this stem a little bit more because we're going to put this pumpkin, we're going to have that stem sitting down into the pumpkin. So we're going to do the stem first, finish stem on out, and then we'll start working on the rest of this pumpkin, getting that pumpkin all nice and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I will take a liner brush, and I'm going to open up my classic clear bottle. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to thin down all this color here. Some yellow. Some white. Always good colors. Now what you're kind of looking for is kind of an olive green kind of color. And we'll test that up here real quick and just see where we're at. That could be a little too bright, but it might be what you need to see the painting up here. Because sometimes we have to make these colors brighter so you can see them on the screen on your TV. Make sure we're not out of camera. So you can see those. Now, I'll make it might be a little too bright, so I don't know how much you can see. But what I'm doing here is I'm making these little grooves in the stem. There's a groove. We have another groove right through here, kind of all crooked and all that good stuff. Okay. That's just the first part of the stemming process. I'll wipe out the brush and I'll come back in here again and kind of feather that out just a little bit. Because we don't want very hard edges. We want nice little jaggedy areas. We want those little grooves to will come out through here as we go. So I'll make more sap green to that. So I'm going to tone it down some more, but it's good to use this. There we go. Okay. Pretty decent there. I want to take some brown now. And we're going to add some more darks in here. Remember I said we're just starting to lay this in. I like to use this liner brush for a lot of the detail work and stuff. So more dioxazine purple in there. Get those nice darks in there. Okay, see those darks starting to come through. I'm going to go over top of those, tone them down. Okay, I can still kind of see them through this paint. I just want to tone them down because I don't know if it looks right to you on the camera or not, but whenever you're watching this on the video, it just bothers me, so I want to make them actually tone down some more. See, that's the beautiful thing about oil painting is you just go right here and go boom. I want to tone them down. And I'm going to tone it down, but before I tone it down, I'll wash this brush out real quick. I want it to be a little more darker. I'm going to go ahead and put the top section, the cutoff section of this in there. Some little cutoff part where they cut it off with a saw. Boom. Maybe a little yellow in there. This is not going to be Snow White. It's going to have a little coloring going on. You take a little bit of brown to that too. Okay, looks pretty good there. Now we can kind of that's a good color right there. I think that there might be the color I need. Maybe a little more brown in that. You kind of want a light brown to a touch green to it. There, that's better. I got another liner brush laying over here. Now I use it to kind of soften, blend it down into the dark paint. Okay. Then come over and just whatever color I pick up from this, I'll kind of put it over here in the background. That's good. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Okay, there's one. And then over here, we'll just put a little bit of a highlight on this edge. And we can just tone it all down. We'll just take another brush, tone it down. Okay, and that's that easy, and you almost have a full stem ready to go. Alright, there we go. We have some birds going off outside on us, so you probably can hear them. They're being pretty loud. Alright, I think it looks pretty good there. What I'm going to do is take a little white with that. I'm just going to have a few little highlighted areas on the stem. Now again, you could take your time with this. You can do as much or as little as you want on your stem. See there? That's a beautiful stem right there. And this stem will come to life more when we put this pumpkin underneath it. Looks like I'm about to run out of time for this episode here almost, so hopefully we can get something on this pumpkin going before we have to leave. Come back to next week. I'm going to take cadmium orange and some white. Maybe too much white, mainly orange. Like I said, you always want to test it out first. And I want more orange in that. So just cadmium orange now. Let's see what that gets me. For now, we're going to make some bigger sections. Then we'll break those little sections down. So first, we'll start with the bigger sections. Then I'll break it down and make smaller ones as I go. So I'd like to start here in the middle section. There'll be a middle pumpkin right there. I'm making them bigger, then I'm breaking them down as I go. I'll make them smaller. See that? As we put that pumpkin in here. Okay. Okay, you can see this starting to come together now, it looks like. It is painting. A lot of times you have to work yourself out of a situation. You get into a situation, work it out. That's a little bit thicker. Boom. Okay. We might be able to get this pumpkin laid out here a bit better before we have to go. Okay, so I'm going to make this edge come around. A solid stroke. That's important. Anytime you're painting, use confident strokes, because if you don't, you're going to have messes. That's the biggest thing I find with people. If you just have confident strokes, one solid stroke like that, you're going to be good. Okay? Okay. But maybe you want these bigger sections here of a pumpkin. Or you can have smaller sections of a pumpkin. That's however you want to do it. But I do plan on breaking those down a little bit more. But I wanted you to kind of see where we're going with the pumpkin. We almost got a full pumpkin in here in this episode. Okay, so the pumpkin is starting to look pretty good. You can see how easy it is with this filbert brush. So, majority of this show is me talking. Cause you got a lot of information you gotta know when you do these pumpkins. So, but other than that, they're very easy. But this one looks like this one here is about all the time I have for today's episode. So I hope you enjoyed this little video here. I hope you learned a lot. Right now we almost got a full pumpkin done, so you can continue working on this. If you want to show, I'll show you how to break it down next week. We break down and make these into smaller little slices, or we can continue making them bigger. So with this right here, I hope you subscribe to the channel, like and share, comment below, like us on Facebook, and visit BrandonThomasArt.com for more helpful tips and some art supplies. And I'll see you all real soon.